through the storm's waves. We are warriors.
Welcome, travelers, to the Tales of TerraVale. We are but your humble guides to the lands and legends that is the world of TerraVale. A group of adventurers, family, and friends, we explore and interact according to the rules of Pathfinder 2nd Edition role-playing game. So join us as we voyage through the Emerald Gulf, where the misty waves whisper ancient secrets, and the winds carry songs that are long forgotten. Here, there'll be pirates that prowl northern shores, and enchanters that weave spells as old as the deep. And every port holds the promise of new adventures. So chart your course with us, and raise the sails, let the dice fall where they may, for this is the Shadowmar Saga. Let's begin with a cold wind that blows south, originating far north above the Yoki Bay. It catches the trade winds and travels past the shores of the riverlands known as Cascadia. It's carried past the many islands and harbors of Erendor and pushes through the Emerald Gulf. And as it slices through between Highmoor and the weathered shores of Avalon, it catches the sails and cuts past the silver hull of a northbound merchant ship. This ship is the Silver Idol. It is a merchant vessel from Highmoor, a Hymorian flute. Gazing upon the silver sails and the sidings of this ship, you can't help to be awe-struck and inspired by it. And the same can be spoken about its captain. Captain Nighlynn EnScarra. Though his stature may speak him to be short, his heart raises above the clouds and above the sails of the ships of the harbor. He inspires both his crew and sailors and the visitors that join him on his adventures. Captain is gazing out over his deck and over the open ocean where everyone is. We have been sailing for a couple days now. He looks out and says, "What a beautiful day it is out here. Upon the sea, surely this is what it means to be alive. Don't you say, Maris?" Standing beside the Captain Nighlynn EnScarra is his first mate and chief officer, Maris Cyrene, a high elf noble officer who stands more than a foot higher than the captain himself, but she stands there at attention, ready to listen to everything that the captain has said. Without looking at Nighlynn or taking her gaze away from the decks of the ship, goes, "Yes, sir." "Ah, yes, truly is. Good sirs, how is our bearing this morning?" And below, at the wheel, we see Thalos, the senior navigator and ship mage above the Silver Idol. He is standing beside the wheel and there to coach the junior navigator in training and one who is on the wheel right now, known as Cael Mac Luga, as he's carefully navigating the ship against the winds as he's close hauling towards the north. "Ah, yes, sirs! Yes, it's Cael, isn't?" Galanon yells down to Cael. "How is our heading this morning?"
Yes, sir. It's, well, I think we're looking good.
"Ah, excellent. Tell me, what does the day bring?"
What does the day bring? I take my hand off of the spoke of the wheel and go to grab my astrolabe. Oh! And I grab the ship's spoke again. Well, I'll need a minute for that one, sir.
Ah, very good, very good. Thalos, make sure you take good care of that man. I'm going to see the rest of my crew and guests. And Elowin hops off of his stool at the top of the stern of the aft castle and begins to climb his way down to the top deck. Thalos looks over at Cael. You seem to have some practice in this.
I appreciate that, Talos. Thanks for noticing. I come from a fishing village. I've been out on the sea many times. I'm no stranger to these waters.
Why, you seem to have a very good grasp of the wind and the sails.
Well, I never piloted anything quite this big, but I studied the stars at the Arcanum.
Really?
Boy,
I know that.
the skies are my playground. I love the sea, and I love looking up. We'll get where we're going, Talos.
Oh, I love to hear that. You know what, lad? I think you're gonna take this ship far places.
I sure hope so.
But don't be afraid. It's hard to keep hold upon this wheel. But know that we will find our way.
Aye, aye, sir.
Don't let the sails take over. You are in control of this ship.
Yes, sir. I'll do my best.
We leave the aft of the ship and travel to the bow. Bror Ironfoot stands on the deck looking up. This broad-shouldered dwarf with his beard braided in many long locks of that speaks of his travels and probably his bathing habits, known as Ironfoot simply because of a great sailing accident that had lost his foot, and he's replaced it with a collection of metals that he's constructed together to create his own new bearings. This Bror Ironfoot is the boatswain, carpenter of the ship and master gunner, who's in charge of all the cannons and firings on the ship. He's standing there, keeping eye at this nimble character up top, a catfolk, Felici, named Keylo E. This agile sailor stands atop and is tying tightly the sails and making sure everything's in place. Oi, lad, how's it going up there?
Dear bro, don't get your iron in a twist. It's all going fine as always.
Well, that storm we took a few nights back is shaking those sails. I want to make sure they're nice and taut.
Oh, these sails. They're as good as the day you bought them, dear man. You worry too much. I think it's beautiful up here. Everything's fine. The sails here are some of the best sails I've been on, and I've been on a lot of ships, dear man.
Oi, well, you keep your footing up there. I don't want to lose another man.
You want to talk about footing, dear Ironfoot. And I'll do my best. Cats are nimble on their feet.
Well, you should have saw me when I was at my heyday. They used to call me Featherfoot. I could climb up this mast all by myself.
Dear man, I bet you that you still could. I've been on a lot of ships, but never known a better bosun.
Oh. Alright, well, enough of that flattery talk. I'm nothing about that. He starts hobbling away. Quick, get down from there. We have to get ready for full sail. And he starts hobbling down the stairs to the top deck of the ship. And as Keylo climbs down, we roll in a climb check, athletics, or is that acrobatics?
You could do either.
I think it's acrobatics.
Is that? Oh, it's a 4. I have 11. All
right, so Keylo starts climbing down, and he's a strong wind kind of pushes through, and he actually loses his footing a little bit there, and kind of like swings off and catches himself against the ropes, and kind of goes against the mast and climbs down. But he looks around quickly, and no one saw him, so it's okay. And begins to climb down and makes his way to the deck.
I think when he lands, he goes, "The cat always lands on its feet," after looking around.
As you're standing there and looking around, from behind you hear, "Oh, wah-wee!" And you, startled, turn around and see that a young lad by the name of Rorik has come up right behind you, and you're kind of startled, but you swear he was never there. "Oh, you surely are one of the fastest and strongest climbers I've ever seen."
Oh, Rorik, I won't hear it for a second. You could do everything I could do and more. Just get a little practice.
"Oh, I hope I'm half the man that you are when I'm older."
Oh, you'll be 4 times, my young lad. Just keep trying.
Gee, truly, I'm honored to have you on the ship. So, how long have you been sailing these waters?
These waters? I go back and forth on these waters. Oh, for probably 5-10 years now. The time seems to pass. I've been on this ship for 6 months. But, well, morning after morning, beautiful sunrise, and night after night, beautiful sunset. The time just flies, my boy.
Oh, I hear you good. Gee, I'll tell you, it's been the greatest decision decided to get on this ship and to be next to the greatest sailor. Oh, I'm just over myself with joy.
You flatter me, lad.
All right, well, we gotta get back before Broad sees me skirting my duties.
Off with you then.
All right, thanks.
Pleasant, lad.
As Rorik runs off, Elwyn, the captain, comes up. "Oh, my boy! I saw you coming down there. Let me tell you, you missed a step there. Almost saw you do a tumble. But let me tell you, it was beautiful seeing you come the rest of the way. I am inspired to have you on that ship."
Well, sir, I must admit that every once in a while I forcefully slip my foot. I want those watching to think that they could do anything they put their mind to. So just between you and I, it was on purpose. But thank you for noticing.
Will you roll a deception check?
Yeah. 10.
Total?
Total.
Okay.
Is that 4 again?
Oh, my boy! I'll tell you what. You are full of joy and tomfoolery. You'll bring quite the laughs and smiles to this ship. I'll tell you, I didn't think when I first saw you back in Sea Haven Harbor that you were going to be the greatest thing that might have happened to the ship. If he gets closer to you. I said to myself, what? That catfolk right there, he needs to be on my ship. He needs to be here, and he needs to be free upon these seas. And only I, Captain Elwyn Gadanon, can give him that.
Every moment of pleasure, sir. And as he does that, I want to put my tail around him, almost like I'm putting my hand on his shoulder.
As you can tell, he gets closer to you. He's very short and comes only to your mid.
That's perfect for the tail.
All right. Well, I just saw Broa leaving, and you know how grumpy he gets. But good lad, he gives you a slap on the back. Back to everything you were doing. I know you're doing great things, and a good day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Elwyn begins to walk off, and as he does so, he's looking at other sailors. Good boy! Yes, excellent. Yes, tie that good and stern. We'll make a good heading today. Yes, and he walks down towards the top deck there, and then right below this, right below the bow, there is an entrance to the galley. And within the galley, the front of the ship is covered in shelves full of all different types of foods and jars and items, barrels, everything you might need, full of fresh ingredients for the cook to be able to create the meals necessary to fuel the crew of the Silver Eider. Working hard on tonight's meal is the chef, known as Grits. A scrawny little goblin who is very sporadic and excited and eccentric, who grabbing different foods and putting together a concoction on an open cauldron in a nice little fire pit protected by steel, and he grabs different items and foods, chopping everything, and occasionally grabs a bottle or two of different sorts of liquids and everything. He gives them nice sniffs and everything, and yes. But at this instance, he's you can see he's a little agitated there, because next to Grits, Regina Clark. Regina, a half-elf thaumaturge, stands there with tome in arm and glasses. Is she wearing glasses?
Maybe, honey. She might be wearing glasses. I don't know. I guess, no, sure. She's wearing glasses.
All right. She has her glasses, and she keeps bringing him up to see what he's doing. At the same time, bringing him back down to see him, and then bringing it back. And Grits, all right, lady. I know what I'm doing here. What is it that you want?
Honey, now, if you want the people on the ship to be good and healthy, honey, you gotta put edible stuff in the soup, honey. Now, watch out. You got the allspice, honey. She, muscles them out. She's done this 1,000. This is where she belongs. You know, honey? Oh, that cabbage, honey. Hand me that cabbage, honey. Thank you so much. She pulls out her own knife. She just starts chopping away, honey.
No,
now,
you can't do that. Now, the crew doesn't like greens.
Honey, yeah, oh, honey, okay. This is a good base, honey. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's decent, okay? I wouldn't exactly say good, but it's gonna need a lot of work. And if you're gonna put a lot of work in, honey, might as well make yourself useful, okay? Now hand me that, right, honey? And she just starts chopping and mixing and smelling stuff. Now, if you're gonna make a good soup, honey, you gotta have a good base, honey. So we're gonna start building up I know I said you have a decent base, but we're just gonna throw this out, honey. And she just pours it out. This is garbage, honey. I know I told you it was decent, honey, but it's garbage,
He's
honey.
grabbing his head, he starts stomping his feet.
She pours stuff out of her backpack. She starts mixing it in, honey. In front of him, just very clearly taking over this role. She's not used to backseat anything, all right, honey? So she's just gonna take over immediately every role that she's in. Space, she's a doer, okay? So she's just taking over and very willing to accept his help as she gets
you actually start to give him some commands too.
Exactly, yes, honey. Stir that in, honey, and teaching as he goes.
He's so stressed out, he actually starts doing what she says.
Oh, you're such a good boy, honey. Don't let anybody tell you you're not a good boy, honey. Okay? Next time we get into town, we'll go to the supermarket, honey, and we'll get some good ingredients, honey.
Down the stairs to the galley comes Captain Elwin. Oh, it smells rather taut in here. What is happening? How is everyone doing? Oh, Regina.
Oh, Elwin, honey. Absolutely. Yeah, that smell. People were gonna eat that, honey. Okay? We're taking over. This is a takeover, honey. So we're making some new food for the crew members. Okay? We're gonna need a new allowance for ingredients, because this is not cutting it, honey. Do you see what's in that pot? You want that in your belly, honey? No. Maybe we could put that in the cannons, honey, and use that as ammunition. Alright, if anybody were to take over, honey. But this is not gonna work, okay?
All right.
Honey, hand me that spoon, honey. Right next to your head, honey. Yeah, hand me that.
All right. Here you go.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. And she just starts mixing away.
And Elwin, who's acquainted to being the person who takes over in the situation, finds himself actually lost it on the back foot here, dealing with Regina. And he comes up next to him. They're actually very much the same height. Regina and Elwin. So they're very much, and the goblin. I mean, we're all just kind of we're in a good place here. Everyone in the galley over here, but Ellen's all right. Well, you're doing a great job here, I must say. Great, good as always. Thank you for letting Regina here take care of these things. I must say, thank you, Regina. As always, it's been a pleasure, and we will be speaking to you some other time.
Absolutely, honey. If you wouldn't mind getting out, there's too many people in this room right now. Okay, honey. I need my space to work. Okay, Grits. Can you just keep an eye, make sure nobody bothers us while we're working? Yeah, honey.
Yes,
Thank you,
I'm
honey.
sorry.
Thank you.
And we leave Regina and Grits. Grits struggling with but still following everything that Regina says. Regina is just taking over and just is now creating dinner, I guess, at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And Elowen leaves, quickly walks down to the below deck area. As you can see, below deck is just full of the crates and barrels. As Elowen is a merchant, he does trade for goods and goes back and forth, to make his living, along with providing room and board for some travelers that pay a good amount to be here. And for those special few that can afford it, they get to have their own room. Now on this ship, the very back below deck is reserved for travelers. There's usually a room there for it. In the very back there, you can see about 5 hammocks and all set up for that. This particular room was actually the room that was used for the navigator and his first mate, his navigator mate. But they, upon the pretty coin presented to them, were forced out of the room to now sleep in the quarters with everyone else. Now, Cael and Talos gladly did so to present this room for the residings of Nighlynn EnScarra, one of the prestigious highborn elves of Highmore. Now, Nighlynn is not traveling alone. She travels also with her pet snowlings, Amaya, and the dutiful advisor, Kyrenic. And here in this room we see Nighlynn is sitting on her hammock, toying with Amaya on the floor with a string and something attached to the end, and Kyrenic is sitting at the chair upon the desk. In this room there is 2 hammocks, 2 chests, and a nice desk with a chair in it. And Kyrenic is sitting on this desk, and you can see him, he's just kind of holding himself, and he is not enjoying the boat ride whatsoever.
Milady, it's very important that you remember. We stay here in our room just for protection. I mean, there are men out there and other travelers, we don't really know them. And they could be the sort of ruffians and hooligans of the sort. You don't want to get mixed up in the wrong sort, you understand?
I don't understand, sir. Where is my father?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry about this. We had this great thing planned. Your father, he wanted to set up a great thing for you and for your 50th birthday. And I know that this is supposed to be a joyous occasion, but as one of the high counselors of Farn Nor, he gets called off into duty. And so he arranged with the great Captain Elowen upon the Silver Eider, as we are on, to arrange passage for you to North. So we will get to Cascadia, I promise you.
But why is there anyone else on this ship besides us?
Well, desperate times, I guess you say. We're boarding it with some other individuals. It's a communal thing. It's one of those things that people be talking about for ages. The thing where you mix with different company.
Did you just say not to mix with this company?
We don't mix with them.
But that's the purpose of us being here.
No. That's not what he said. I'm not. You're not there.
Well, I want to see them then. I want to take Amaya and I want to see them.
Listen, we all trust Elowen. He's a kind of gentleman who just trusts anyone, and I guess that's a good thing. But
Then let us leave.
I'm a lady. I mean, if you wish it, but
I do.
I can't.
I do.
All right. We'll just wait, and we'll go up together, and maybe lunch is to be served later. And we're going to have some food. Maybe we'll. I'm sorry, I need to leave.
And he kind of gets up and walks out the door. He stumbles out the door and up the stairs here that take him right to the top deck. And as he's leaving, he opens the door, and Elowin is sitting there.
Oh, good! I was about to check on you.
And then he just sees him.
Oh, Kyle Rennick. I've never seen him that shade before. Oh, Malay,
he says as he bows so low that perhaps his nose is even touching the floor, and in a very elegant bow comes back up.
I hope that you are enjoying yourself upon the Silver Eider.
I am.
Now, I don't know if you ever known this, but the Silver Eider is named after the great mallards of the north.
I am good, sir. I think that you are a type I'm not supposed to converse with.
What? I don't know how to take that. I know your father, my dear. We go way back.
Have you ever been to our estate?
Yes, more than once.
I've never seen it before.
It's a very big estate, and it has been a long time. I mean, we used to spend a lot of time together during the war. It's been over about 60, 70 years, I think. It's been a while. But I enjoy the company of your father. It is terrible that he could not join us.
Yes, I am quite upset.
Well, it is my great honor to have you here on the Silver Eider.
And then I look over and I start to pet Amaya, and she starts growling.
Well, I only like cats on 2 feet. I am sorry. I think I need to... I'll leave you to your business. It looks like you're about to stand up.
Well, I would like to go around the ship. I would like to look around. But I was told that I'm not supposed to converse with anyone.
Oh, nonsense. Everyone here has been personally picked by myself to crew this ship. Only those that are good in heart and true in deed can sail this vessel.
Good, then I want to be taken now.
All right, well, let me escort you.
Thank you.
And he takes you out into this large area where you see there are some crew members who are relaxing, everything like that. You see Grits kind of come out from the doorway to the galleon. He's got his apron.
That blasted woman just ruins everything.
And he kind of stomps and goes,
Food is ready.
and like walks off towards the other end. And everyone kind of like begins to get up off of their hammocks and make their way to the galley to kind of form a line to get their food and come sit down. You hear, as everyone's doing this, bell begin to ring above deck, and a lot of the other sailors are coming down to join. And within a few minutes, most of that room is filled with sailors that are not actively taking care of top deck, but are also everyone else who is free, who can have a moment, comes down and is sharing a bowl of
lunchtime stew, honey. Been making this for years. Okay, it's called lunch. Okay, you eat it. All right, honey. Don't worry, it's good. We've served it at the. I'm forgetting the name. How am I?
Look it up.
The Boghaven Inn, honey, or the Gloomhaven Inn. Did we decide?
Gloomhaven. That's a game.
No, that's Gloom. Is that?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Gloomhaven. Yeah.
The Boghaven
Yeah,
Inn.
the Bog.
The Boghaven Inn, honey. Yeah, been serving that there for years. Call it lunch, okay?
At this point, actually, Nighlynn is in line and is kind of like happily joining along with the crew as if she's part of them, but it's standing out like a sore thumb, just how proper she is. And she's actually comes up next, and you're here with this bowl and you're looking into this stew, which both looks and smells like nothing you've probably ever eaten before.
It's got a little spice to it, honey, okay? And you said you wanted something for your cat, too?
Yes. What is this?
This is called lunch, honey, okay? I said it before. I know you're new around here. I haven't seen you much, okay? But it's called lunch. It's delicious. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, honey. Go ahead. Next in line. Here you go, honey. I'll give you the... Oh, and this is for your cat, too. I'll give her what Grits was making before. That pot. I'll just put that hand
There you
there.
go.
There you go, honey. That's for your cat.
You got 2 bowls.
Who's
in
next,
hand at
honey?
this point.
No, she can't eat this.
Oh, this is what we call cat food, honey. Okay? No person in the outright should eat this, but it's definitely good for a cat, honey.
A few
okay?
people behind Nighlynn is Keylo, and he hears this.
I'm sorry, cat, what?
What's that?
My cat can't eat this.
Oh, yes, honey, he could eat this. He could stomach it. You see, cats of the downward variety are able to stomach many things like poisons and acids and stuff like that. What Grits was about to have you all eat, okay, honey? But this is definitely fine for the feline variety. On the ground, that is. Not, like you, honey. Okay, now move along. People are waiting. Here you go. I'll hand it that bowl and start going down.
So I just keep walking, and I'm holding it, and Amaya's growling.
There's like no spoon or anything to it. It's just like a
It's just
bowl.
like-
Yeah, it's just.
You leave the galley, go back to the below deck area, and there's some stools and everything, and you see Elwyn has kind of gotten some stools together in a big circle, and he's like, "Oh, good, Nighlynn, come here, come sit next to me. Let's chat a little bit."
I would love to chat, but could we please make sure that my cat eats the same food as I do?
Oh, of course. Yes, absolutely. We'll make sure that happens right away.
Thanks,
Please. And you sit down with Elwyn as a Keylo comes up and he's getting his food, and at the same time, Thalos has taken over the wheel and allows you to come down. So Cael's in line with Cael comes up. He sees the food as well.
How good did I do a good job?
Let's roll. Find out.
Do a little cooking?
Yeah. This is training.
That's a nat 20.
Oh!
It is
delicious.
That's right. Here we go, honey.
All right. Well, I'll grab some of that and take a little bite in line and be like, my compliments to the chef.
Yeah.
Very good today.
Grits does, with a little instruction, Grits does a good job, honey, okay?
Where is that salty barnacle? Where'd they go
Oh,
off to?
he said something about going to bed himself and the crew somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe he had to go use the bathroom or something, honey. I'm sure he's up to good. He's doing something somewhere.
I'm sorry, did you say that Grits made this?
He's the cook, isn't he? I just helped him out a little bit, honey, okay?
Well, I must say it's danged very good.
Oh, honey, when you use fresh ingredients.
We rolled a deception.
Deception?
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be a 19.
All right.
But I must say that Grits did a wonderful job.
Absolutely, honey. With a little instruction, anybody can achieve some, wonderful things.
You kind of hear around you all these other sailors go, "Grits made this? Oh, Grits! Oh my God! I think
Must
I
be
might be
a-
able to choke this down."
Point the teacher. Keylo and I have been eating Grits' slop for months now. I never tasted anything like this.
Yeah, slop's a good way to call it, honey.
This is quite good.
They call it lunch. Lunch?
They call it lunch, honey.
Lunch.
Yes, honey, we call it lunch back at the Bog Haven Inn, honey, LLC. We were looking to franchise before the accident happened.
I don't believe I've ever had lunch before.
You've never had lunch before, honey?
Nighlynn is not there.
Oh.
I thought I was sitting with them.
No, they haven't joined you yet.
Oh.
But they're actually a few. They're like one of the last ones in line, and so they kind of take their food out, and Regina gets herself some food, and they're like talking as they walk.
Oh, I
Yeah, I
thought they were
gave,
sitting with me.
I also thought we were sitting with her.
Well, that's good because we all end up sitting
end up
with each
sitting
other.
together.
Everyone's like, "Come, yes. Oh shoot, you sit here and you sit here. Oh yes. Oh good. Oh my crew and the guests are all together."
So the recipe, honey, I gave it to Grits. I wrote it down for him, so he's got it here. So I don't have to be here every day, cooking lunch. I got too many things I gotta do. honey, then to supervise this. So he did a good job today. Hopefully in the future, honey, he'll have, this will be the normal.
Fantastic.
My eyes get really big as they come to sit down, and I look at Keylo, and I say, "You're a cat.
Oh, I'm a cat folk, dear.
You speak."
I feel like I speak quite eloquently, actually.
Oh, I've never met one of you before.
Well, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I would like to take her hand to kiss it.
And I start to blush.
Which is very, very obvious on Lightcaster.
It's nice to meet you, cat.
Well, I'm a cat folk, dear. Cat folk, they're different than the usual cats. For one, we can speak. As you said yourself, there's never been any speaking that you've heard from your cat, correct?
No.
All right. And, well, we have a host of other things that we can do. But I can understand. Facial features do match, I understand.
Well, you're very beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And you yourself.
Weirdos over here. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, good. I so enjoyed the crew and guests getting to know each other. Regina, tell us about yourself again.
What do you mean, honey? What do you want to know? I'm an open book.
You said before. I heard you keep bringing up this inn that you had.
The Boghaven Inn, honey?
Boghaven. Where we can find this?
The Boghaven Inn?
Yes.
Back in the bog, honey.
No, we're talking about the Umberglades.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, I guess y'all call it the Umberglades. Outside of it, I just call it the bog. It's where I lived most of my life with Richard, honey. I'll pull up the pendant because Richard, honey. Yeah, we lived there. We had the Boghaven Inn, honey, Inn and Suites and all that. And where many a traveler, them dang travelers, came in and made a mess of the place. But we cleaned it up every time, honey. Unfortunately, in the last, I don't know how long have I been on the ship.
On the ship, you've been on probably about, I'd say about like 4 days, maybe 5 days.
So about a couple weeks ago, honey, some no good vagabonds came through and ended up torching the place. Made a real mess of it and ended up torching the place, and ended up hurting my poor husband Richard. So now we are together going to try and find out what we can, make them pay. The Boghaven was very important to me and Richard, okay? And we're not going to let something like that go.
It's terrible. Terrible. Who are these ruffians?
Well, honey, what I've been able to gather is that they were possibly the Fey Mori. I don't know if you heard of them. The Fey Mori, they're from the Fey Morn, okay? Just north of the Jokely Sea, honey.
Oh, my dear, it's called the Yoki Sea.
The Noki Sea, yes, honey.
Yeah, well, no, I haven't heard of the Fey Mori coming down this south.
Well, I've never heard of them at all, honey. Okay, it's just as a surprise to me. They show up in my inn one day, okay, honey, and they torch the place, interrogating my husband Richard like he knows something, okay? And then they start threatening him, honey, and we're not gonna let something like that fly, honey.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry to hear about Richard. I mean, I don't see him with you, but perhaps he's back trying to rebuild.
No, honey, he's right here, honey. Look, right here. Look at him. See this? I hold up it's like a silver medallion with like a ruby in the middle, and a man wailing. Image of a man wailing inside. Yes, honey, so it's a funny story. So when the place was, these ruffians go, they attack my Richard. He's on the ground. I thought he was gonna die, honey. And the place is burning. All these travelers be dying in my inn, making a mess, leaving things. So I went to the old Abandoned and Acquired, honey. It's a place where we keep things that people lose and hope to find. And I found a medallion. I thought it was a medallion of, stabilization, something like that. Followed the instructions on it, honey. Turns out, a medallion of stasis. Who would have known? Okay, who would have known? And put him in stasis in this medallion. Couldn't quite figure out how to take him out. Okay, so he's here with me. He can hear you. Say hi, Richard.
Hello, Richard.
I lean over and I like
Did you
try to
just
knock on it.
You hear a.
Yes, he's Richard was a what do you call it? Somebody that takes you out and helps you explore. What is it called? Guide. He was a
assassin.
No, honey, he was a swamp guide, honey. He would take travelers out and show them ways and through the bogs, honey, up into the mountain. Oh, sorry, honey. Into the mountains, honey, and he would take them back. We used to be adventurers back in the day, but that life was a little too exciting for us. So we settled down at the Bog Haven Inn, honey, and let Richard just kind of took some travelers up and down.
Can you hear him?
What's that, honey?
Can you hear?
Can I hear Richard, honey?
Richard, yes.
He doesn't. Yes, but he doesn't say much nowadays.
Okay.
It's just a wail in agony every once in a while, honey. Yes, honey. Every once in a while, maybe a blink of the eye. We'll see it. Maybe a trick of the light. But I know we've been together for many years, Richard and I. He's an adventure, so he's enjoying himself in there. You know, it's nice nowadays because I can keep an eye on him, honey. He ain't going nowhere, so I don't gotta worry about him or anything like that. And he's always close to me. He's always said he wanted a reason to be close to me again, and here we are.
Well, I saw him blinking, and let me say, Richard was a fine blink.
Figured that means yes, honey. Okay.
Well, that's fast. So what you're saying is that your husband is trapped inside that amulet, and you're trying. What? Why are you going north then?
Well, honey, I found out some via gathering information. Okay, as I am very well adept and good at, found out that the Fey Mori were causing some ruckus, would say, in the Emerald Gulf. So that's
That's preposterous. Listen, the Fey Moris keep themselves to Yoki Bay, far to the north. They would never travel far as the Emerald Gulf. Right? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Right?
Take your word for it, sir.
of course, honey. This
Kind
guy's
sir.
got no idea the storm that's coming, honey.
Excuse
Actually,
me,
Captain-
kind sir. Do you know, is that where my father is?
No, your father's still in Fernanor, dealing with it. He'll be traveling. I've made word with him. He will be traveling north afterwards. I have good connections in Cascade. We'll take care of you. What you were saying something, Cael?
Actually, Captain, I've seen Fomori in these waters too.
I beg your pardon.
Years ago, I was an apprentice on a different ship with my brother. He was attacked by Fomori pirates, cast me into the sea and killed everyone else. They're around, Captain. Best to be aware of it.
Well, I don't want anyone to be alarmed. We are in a safe place. The Silver Eider is the quickest ship upon the Emerald Gulf, and we are well protected.
I'll pull out the War Razor and I'll say, don't worry, honey. Okay, Regina's here. She'll take care of it. Okay, they get too close, we take a little off the top, honey. Okay? And maybe a little more than that.
I'd like to
honey,
scoot
okay?
my back a little.
Okay, if they come here, they'll get what's coming to them, if you know what I mean, honey. Okay? Regina retired. They want to bring her out of retirement. She's coming out of retirement, honey. She's coming.
You are a feisty old lady, aren't you?
Regina gets done what needs to get done, honey. These people that put Richard in here, tink, 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 they're going down, honey. Okay? We're going to get him out of here, and we're going to get a little bit of what Regina calls revenge. Okay, honey?
I do not want to cross you. I'm sorry.
Regina, may I have more lunch?
Would you like more lunch, honey? Did everybody get some? Show of hands. Everybody get some lunch?
They all raise their well, they don't spoons. They're bowls. Aye.
Absolutely.
Yellow.
I'll be right back. Anybody else want some more lunch, honey? Just okay. I'll just get
people
them
that
now.
started lining up.
Okay, they're right. Okay, looks like people a little more, honey. It looks like Regina still got it.
I look around a little bit nervously, and then I say,
When I get nervous, I eat.
That's all right. Where's Grits? Grits, they want more lunch, Grits. Okay, come on, Grits. Wherever you're hiding, I'll find you. You don't want Regina coming, so you better come now.
Regina gets up and is walking very slowly.
Yeah, so walk.
Towards the kitchen, and you look over in the back corner of the deck, probably still in the galley. He's kind of sitting. You see Grits is sitting there, and he's like angrily eating up lunch.
This forest woman, so good.
Cael, might I ask, how long ago were you on that ship?
Well, see, that's the funny thing, Keylo. I can't quite remember.
All right. Do you remember the name of it?
I actually don't. Believe it or not, when I was thrown overboard, I kind of sank down into the waters, and I think I might have drowned, but here I am. Don't have a whole lot of memory of that day.
That's 2 people that I'd met in the last 5 minutes that died and are still here. It's very interesting. Have you ever died? Nighlynn.
He's dead?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out Richard. Thank you, Cael. I know that wasn't probably the best memory. Just had a question.
Well, it's not so bad, Keylo. I can't quite remember a whole lot of it, actually.
I was told not to speak with anybody or converse with you. Now I understand.
She kind of scratches her head a little bit and says,
Is there more food?
Looks like they're all lining up. I hope there's some. But go, help yourselves. All right. Well, this has been quite a lovely lunch. I have to get back to top ship and make sure everyone is going well, and give Maris a little break. She's a sweet lady. She is. She does well.
she just sits here waiting for somebody to bring her more food. She doesn't move. She's just waiting for more food.
Hello, my dear lad. I think I'll come up the deck with you. No one should walk alone, and Nighlynn, it's my pleasure. And Cael, also my pleasure.
As always, Keylo.
So you walk up with Lynyn, and Regina's back in the galley. She's serving up and finishing up the bowl of lunch. That she Cael, what do you do at this moment?
I might actually follow Regina. The medallion with the husband trapped in it presents an interesting intellectual puzzle to Cael, who's a wizard. I'm going to ask questions and
All right.
see what Regina knows about it.
Nighlynn still sits there nice.
I'm just waiting for food.
So you come in and Regina's finishing off giving like everyone their stew and everything. Now you see Grits is also in the galley at this point, and he's scrubbing some other dishes and stuff. And he's scrubbing himself. Apparently, there was an exchange where Regina made him start cleaning up after.
Yes, and she's like making like leftover like parcels. Like she's like making like leftovers. She's like
little.
Yeah, like little Tupperware, like whatever the
Whatever
fantasy
this
version
food was,
of Tupperware is.
It's solid enough that you're able to wrap it.
Yeah, exactly. Back at the Barghaven Inn, honey, we had 3 drinks: breakfast, lunch, and dinner, honey. Okay, and this is one of them. We had it for years, and it worked perfectly good. It is funny that sometimes lunch became dinner. You know what I mean? So she's like wrapping it up in whatever, like little like leaves with like and tie it off at the top, so they're just kind of like little lunch sacks. Like,
all right. Cael comes in and approaches you. Do you want to say anything to him in particular?
Well, first off, we believed him when he said that Grits made the lunch, right?
Yeah.
I rolled a 19 deception. I
Okay.
don't know what that goes against for PCs.
We'll just say that I believed you. I'll walk in, I'll see Grits there and be like, "Hey Grits, bang up job today. Lunch. Great thinking of that. Very good."
What?
Hey.
I'll just kind of pat him on the shoulder and I'll turn over to Regina. Great job, mate. So trapped in stasis, huh? How did this happen again?
Oh, Cael, honey. So, you know, I don't know if you've heard, but I had a tavern called the Barghaven Inn, honey. Okay? And we had an incident with some Fey Mori came through interrogating Richard. They thought he knew something about something.
What'd you say?
What's that, honey?
You said that dirty word.
What's that, honey?
You said that dirty
You can't be cleaning many pots, honey.
You
if
said
you're
that
talking.
dirty word.
What dirty word, honey,
You said
Richard?
Fomori.
Yes, the Fomori. Do
You
know
can't
something?
speak their name.
Why can't you speak their name?
They say they come from the shadows, they do.
The shadows, honey. Let them. I'll pull out the warrant. Let them come from the shadows, honey. Which one? That shadow, honey. Okay. So he was dying there, and we get a lot of stuff that's lost at the tavern. Adventurers come in with all kinds of stuff. Wizards of all what kind, and leaving stuff and dying in my tavern from fights. So we get lots of stuff ends up getting left there, honey. That's what this is in my pack. I show her my big old pack and my tome. That's a big old thick tome with a bunch of stuff sticking out, like a feather here and like tufts of hair and all that kind of stuff. It's a bunch of I brought the abandoned and acquired with me. I figured it would be useful, all this wizard crap. Could use it on my way to, find out how to get Richard out of stasis. And in there was a medallion, honey. And again, I thought that it was, I looked in the book here, but I misread it. I thought it was a stabilization, amulet of stabilization. Turns out it's an amulet of stasis. Who would have known, okay? Put him in there, and he's in a point of stasis, I assume right at the point of death, which is gonna prove very interesting when I finally do get him out of stasis. I've been meaning to learn CPR for a while. I haven't got around to it yet. But we will do it. Do you know anything about stasis magic, honey? I don't think.
The whole time she's talking, I'm kind of trying to, break in, but eventually I'll just give up and start writing some notes. Well, I actually meant it more like, did you have to press a button on it or something? But that's all right, we'll get back to that. I don't know a ton about stasis magic, but I have a lot of books. Might be able to find something.
Any help would be very appreciated, honey. Now, as far as how the amulet works, there was some gobbledygook written on the back. I think you had to say it in a certain way. And then I guess there was instructions with it, again, hastily written in the book for it. But it wasn't no button on there. As far as I know, it was just the incantation. Does that sound right, DM? Okay. There we go. Does that sound right, Richard? Yes, Richard says yes.
Okay.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I don't want to, take away the scene here or anything, but I'll just assume I have a passing interest in that, and maybe I'll want to try and examine that a little bit later.
Hey, absolutely, honey. I know if Richard, you won't run off with this, will you, honey?
No, there's not a whole lot of places for me to go, even if I wanted to.
Can I do like a sense motive? Can I see if he's trying to steal my amulet?
Is he asking for your amulet?
No, I'm not asking to take it.
Yeah.
I'm just asking, hey, it's sometime in the future, can I maybe look at this a little more carefully?
Absolutely, honey.
You sense that his motives are strictly academic.
Perfect, honey. The more that you learn, I guess the more you know, the more I know, so that's good. We can get Richard out of there quick, but not too quick, honey. I've kind of been enjoying the fact you can't talk back to me.
Well, if you're anything to go by, Regina, I think we're gonna all love meeting Richard.
Oh, you'll love Richard, honey. Oh, he's a doll. Oh, man, I still remember the day we met in those pants. Oh, baby.
I'm still waiting for food. I'm just sitting at the table waiting with Amaya.
At some point, someone sees you and takes pity upon you. It's like, here you go. It's for you.
Patch on that.
Patch on that, and he kind of awkwardly walks away.
Thank you.
M'lady.
One for my cat. She's nervous too.
Yeah, of course. At this point, Kyrenic comes back down and he's like, I'm feeling much better, my lady. It turns out Thalos is also kind of like the ship mage and takes care of people. He gave me this nice little elixir that helps to keep it all down. Oh, so anyway, what was for lunch?
They brought me a second portion of lunch. Would you like mine?
I think I'll pass today.
Now, who can we speak to about getting feather pillows put in the room?
Perhaps we can talk to the captain. Anyway, lady, I'm going to lay down. I suggest you come to the room and keep yourself.
Not talking to anyone.
Yes, well, you know, it's what's safe. It's what's best. Anyway, so I'll be back.
She wants to smile at him and then basically tell Amaya to come, and she wants to go above deck, not listening to what he just told her to do. so she basically nods and smiles and then tells Amaya to come, and they go up.
Okay. While you're going up there, we'll go back to Keylo. I'm assuming Keylo's going back to the rigging and to the checks in. And Elwyn stops shortly up there and goes,
Keylo, you've never heard of these Faved, have you?
Oh, sir, I've heard of a lot of bandits all over the lands, but Faved to me doesn't mean much, no.
Good. I'll just, you know, how the crew can be quite superstitious.
Right.
And I don't want them all getting the heebie-jeebies about these Faved.
Well, I would say is that a heebie-jeebied crew is one that's on its toes, and out in the ocean, it's okay to be on your toes a bit, I would say.
will you roll a perception check?
Sure. 18 total.
All right. So you kind of notice the captain seems a little bit on edge, more than you.
Captain, do you have anything you'd like to add about the Faved?
Oh, no, of course, the Faved are just they're just pirates, raiders that live up in the north. I mean, as long as you avoid them, they wouldn't come this far south. Doubt that could be possible, and there was this time when we came close to the Faved, and we've gotten a little scrap, as it were, up north. It was quite a battle.
The Faved, are they humans? Are they elves? Are they... I've never seen one.
Well, they say that there used to be Fae folk, but they were cursed way back in the fall of their land, now known as Faved. That's what they're called, the Faved. I guess it's just how their name came to be, I suppose. But this land seems to be cursed far north above the Yoki Sea. But what I remember, big, tall humanoids that they have dark greyish skin, almost orc-like, with horns that curve up over their head. These beastkin are almost ferocious and fierce and more animal than anything else, I would say. They fought like animals. But anything can be beaten with a good heart. Am I right, boy?
That's true. Sounds like all they really need is a bit time in the sun, a little hug, and maybe some of that lunch.
Ha! You're right. See, you bring smile upon our faces.
Ah, that's the point, sir.
All right. Well, off to you go, Keylo. I'm going to relieve Maris of her duties.
Would I go back up to the crow's nest?
Yeah.
Okay. So I climb up to the crow's nest. Do I need to climb? Roll my check?
Roll acrobatics.
Okay. Oof. 10. I'm a cat. I'm a cat.
It's very windy.
I'm wearing boots.
All right. We are actually sailing against the wind, just where the wind naturally blows from north to south in this area. It's a trade wind that comes right down and just keeps. So there's a lot of strong winds, and you get up there, and every once in a while, this strong wind just knocks you around.
Since she's coming,
It's quite comical seeing this cat go.
since Nighlynn and Amara are coming up because they're not listening, she looks at Amaya and says, "You can do better than that."
Do I hear this? Probably not. Oh, roll perception.
Roll perception. Got some cat ears.
A total of 15.
I think you're too busy holding on to this ear. What people are saying. You hear some sailors nearby and be like,
I've never seen Keylo like this before. He must be off edge.
The first thing Nighlynn wants to do is send Amaya up to go to the crow's nest just to see if she could do better than the cat folk.
Amaya, show him how it's done.
all right. So the cat kind of sits there, just looks at you, looks up at Keylo, who just kind of climbed into the rose that fell down. I was like, brush himself up. And Amaya kind of gets up and goes over. We roll a climb check for Amaya. It's an acrobatics check.
10.
So slightly worse.
You see Amaya? And she gets over into the top of into the crow's nest, and she's just like, just like
What makes me go up here? Why did she make me do this?
When she gets to the top, can I say, "Come on here, girl"?
So you kind of approach her,
Yeah.
and then like start to like pet her. All right, I'm just gonna roll for Amaya to see what her. You go to touch her, and she goes. And you decide to just sit on the other side of the crow's nest.
Okay, so Nighlyn's gonna get nervous, so she's gonna try to go up.
Okay.
She rolls a 12.
All right, so you start lining up there and fall into.
Scoot over.
You scoot
So
over.
it's very unladylike, I take it.
Yeah, it's not very ladylike at all. And actually, you're probably gonna take a penalty for climbing up in a dress.
Oh boy.
But with the 12, I'll say I'll give you a -2 penalty, and you're just doing the same thing. So eventually, you kind of get there.
They're having fun.
Everyone is like just like in the corner, just kind of like.
I'd like to straighten out my dress and then look over at Keylo and say, I normally climb much better than that.
I'm surprised you climb at all, my lady.
I climb quite often.
How about your cat?
She does too.
She doesn't look the best.
She's not used to the rough waters. We prefer
Understand.
trees.
I understand. Well, I don't understand. Why did you actually come up here?
Well, because I sent my cat. I came to get her.
Okay. Well, welcome to the crow's nest. We
Thank you.
usually don't have 3 people at a time up here, so enjoy the view.
May I stay?
If you prefer, yeah, absolutely. Tell you what, I'd like to pull out my spyglass and hand it to her. Take a look around. This is what we do up here.
Oh, thank you.
Well, things probably look very far away, although there's not really anything to look at, so truth be told, look anywhere you want.
Could you
So,
show me?
what you want to do is look through the small end.
I imagine Regina and Cael are just standing at the bottom.
You made your way to the
Like,
top at this point.
She already cleared up, and we're just looking from the bottom.
like,
Freaking weirdos, am I right? What are they doing? First lunch, now this, and looking around. Now the cat, you saw the cat go up, and then he went up.
Now, I will tell you, once you get it out, there's a little bit of a focus that happens here. If it's out of focus, if you can't see anything, and if you get light on the tip here, it's going to make it hard to see. She's pulled this out. If there's any light on it, there you go. It's very simple.
will you roll a perception check?
This is great. I hope this is how that's a net.
Not 20.
All right. So you're just kind of testing around with this thing and looking around. This is your first time ever playing with it. Such a delicate instrument such as this. And as you're looking out, you're looking at empty seas. I mean, the wind's blowing, but there's very few clouds in the sky and sea as far as long as you can see. And as you go round and round, you look over and you see that there's a strange spot off in the distance. And you see that there's these it seems like a bunch of birds flying.
Uh-oh.
Like I don't know, seagulls, but they're so far off you can't tell they're seagulls, and they're just a bunch of them in this one area. It's very strange to you. I mean, you've never seen anything like this, but you've never been on sea before.
Excuse me, cat.
Yes.
Look for the birds.
There's
many birds. It's unnatural.
Keylo.
Keylo.
My name is Keylo.
Cat.
Yes, I'm a cat folk. My name is Keylo.
Keylo. Look for the birds. It's unnatural.
The birds.
There's many birds.
I'd like to look. Do I roll?
Roll 20.
19.
All right. So she points out. You also see way off in the distance, a bunch of what seems like just a flock of birds, all in the same area, just kind of like circling.
So I'd like to yell, "Ahoy, Captain!
What was that, Keylo?
Captain, ahoy! Get the captain!"
Captain! Ahoy, Keylo! Oh, what is... Oh, hold on. What does he see?
Captain, roughly 20 leagues aft. There are birds gathered what seems around something behind us.
Let me see here. Hold on.
He goes up to the aft castle, and he stands back, and he takes out his own spyglass.
Quite peculiar.
Hmm.
Good eye, Keylo. All hands on deck. Let's pick up this wind, shadowy Tharos. We're going to make way. We need to pick up speed at this moment. All hands on deck.
And everyone's kind of like not sure what's going on, but something has gotten Captain Elowin nervous, and that is kind of making everyone else nervous. And so at this point, we're going to stop here. Ooh. Thank you, travelers, for watching and joining us on our quest today. If you want to see more adventures by us, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. And remember, toss the dice and let them fall where they may. Until our paths cross again, thank you. Have a good night.